Before we start talking about anything else in a statistic class, we need to start by talking about what is statistic. And if you go online and Google a definition for a statistic, you will find many definitions. In simple terms, a statistic is the science of collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and then presenting data. Before we move on, we are going to talk about some terms that are important to understand as we move forward in the statistic class. Let's start by defining what a population is and what a sample is. Population is the entire group of people or things, subjects, that you are investigating. Population, think about something big, something you can take a subset of. That subset, it's a sample. It's just a smaller portion of your population. For a population, you don't have to think about something huge. You will see an example in the next slides. You can think about something as huge as all the adult population of the United States, and then from there take a sample. Or you can think about population being the students of a college. That's your entire population, and then you take a sample out of those. If you think about those two in terms of numbers, the adults in the US is a huge population versus the amount of students in a college, it's less, it's a less number, but it's still your population under investigation. How you take the sample, that's another video. We're going to talk about different sampling techniques and why it is so important to take those techniques into account when you're selecting a sample. Moving on, another two terms that are very important to understand and make a difference of them. It's parameter and statistic. Let's talk about parameter first. Parameter is a number that it's a property of the population. Think about just the mean height for an adult in that US population that we talked about in the previous slide. That mean height, it's your parameter because it's describing your whole population, like the whole adult population of the United States. Once you take a sample and you compute the same number, so now if I take a sample and I find what is the mean height for that sample, then that number is not representing my whole population anymore. So then I have to change the name, and instead of parameter, that's going to be a statistic. Now, see the difference between statistic and statistics with an S at the end. When we talk about statistics with the S, we go back, and statistics is the science of collecting the data, interpreting the data. Statistic without this S at the end is a number that represents a sample. It's a property of a sample. So it's very important to make the difference between those two. Anytime that you're talking about a population, if we take a number out of that, we are talking about that being a parameter. If we take a sample out of that population and we take that number out of it, then that number that represents a property of the sample, it's called a statistic. Let's just talk about two examples. The first example, we have a company that has 1,500 employees, and they found out that 8% of them use drugs. It's the number given in the question, a statistic or a parameter. And by the number, I am talking about this 8%. So this is a total amount of employees that use drugs in this company that the problem is referring to. So now we have to think about, where is this 1,500 coming from? Is this a sample or is this the population? So think about this. When you take a sample, you need to, the problem is to tell you that out of this amount, we took this number of employees. From what I can read in here, we have, let me just go back. We have a company that has 1,500 employees total. So all of the employees of the company are taken into account in here. From that 1,500 employees, 8% of them use drugs, meaning that this 8% represent the population. And so this number represents a parameter. All right. If we go to the next example, now we said we have, suppose an investigator came in, we're talking about the same company with the 1,500 employees. Now an investigator came in and asked 300 of the 1,500 employees if they use drug. So again, think about 1,500 being your big group and 300 being the subset that you're taking out from your whole population. When the result came out, the investigator, he found out that of the 300 employees that he asked, 4% used drugs. So now, is this 4% a parameter or a statistic? 4%, it's out of 300 employees. 300 employees is a subset of the 1,500, meaning it's a sample. And if it's a sample, then the 4% represent a statistic. All right. So now go back. Here, I'm not taking a subset. I am using the total number of employees in that company, 1,500. So I'm using the whole population. And so the number, that 8%, represents a parameter. If we go back, something that helps me remember which goes with which, parameter and population, they both start with P. So every time we talk about a population, the measurement that we take out from there, it's a parameter. And if we take a sample, we have a statistic. They both start with S.